Sides TV with me, Esma. The Israel-Iran-Palestine conflict is one of the most protracted and intricate disputes in modern history, characterized by confluence of historical grievances, territorial disputes, and profound religious significance. This multifaceted conflict encompasses not only national and political aspirations, but also deep-rooted religious affiliations that complicate the path to peace. This report will delve into the historical background of the conflict, the major events that have shaped its trajectory, and the religious dimensions that play a crucial role in the ongoing struggle. Here's a special story of the history from Sides TV. The land known today as Israel and Palestine has been significant for various religious traditions for millennia. For Jews, it is the historical homeland central to their identity and religious practices, with sacred sites like the Western Wall and the Temple Mount. For Muslims, it is a home to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, the third holiest site in Islam. Christians also revere the region as the birthplace of Jesus Christ, making it a focal point for multiple faiths. By the late 19th century, the area was part of the Ottoman Empire. The rise of the nationalism among both Jews and Arabs during this period set the stage for future conflicts. The Zionist movement sought to create a Jewish homeland in response to European anti-Semitism, while Arab nationalism emerged in reaction to colonial influences and the desire for self-determination. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 further exacerbated tensions between Jewish and Arab communities in Palestine. By expressing support for a Jewish national home, the British government fueled Arab fears of displacement and loss of sovereignty. This declaration was viewed by many Arabs as a betrayal of promise made to them during World War I, complicating the relationship between the two communities. In the 1920s and 1930s, violence erupted between Jewish and Arab groups, often rooted in conflicting national aspirations and fueled by religious sentiments surrounding sacred sites. In 1929, Hebron massacre and the 1936 to 1939 Arab revolt were key events that illustrated the growing rift. After World War II and the Holocaust, global sentiment shifted towards supporting Jewish statehood. The United Nations proposed a partition plan in 1947 which aimed to create separate Jewish and Arab states. The Jewish community accepted the plan while Arab leaders rejected it, leading it to heightened tensions. On May 14, 1948, the State of Israel was declared. The immediate response from neighboring Arab states was a military invasion, resulting in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. This conflict not only resulted in significant territorial gains for Israel but also displacement of around 7 lakh Palestinians, an event referred to as the Nakba or catastrophe. The war's aftermath left deep scars on both communities, with Palestinians facing statelessness and Israel facing existential threats. The 1960s saw the formation of the Palestinian Liberation Organization or PLO in 1964, representing Palestinian aspirations for self-determination and statehood. This period also marks the beginning of armed resistance, with groups like Fatah advocating for the liberation of Palestine. The Six-Day War in 1967 was a watershed moment as Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and other territories. This occupation led to the establishment of Israeli settlements and further intensified Palestinian resistance. Religious sentiments were heightened as Israel's control over East Jerusalem brought Jewish and Muslim communities into direct conflict, particularly regarding the Temple Mount and Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Yom Kippur War in 1973 saw Arab states attempting to reclaim lost territories, leading to peace negotiations. The Camp David Accords in 1978 resulted in a peace treaty between Israel and Egypt but did not address the Palestinian issue, further alienating Arab nations and reinforcing Palestinian grievances. The First Intifada in 1987 to 1993 was a grassroots uprising against Israeli communication marked by widespread protest and civil disobedience. The religious dimensions of the conflict became more pronounced, with Islamic groups like Hamas emerging. advocating for armed resistance and the establishment of an Islamic state in all of historic Palestine. The Oslo Accords in 1993 established the Palestinian Authority and aimed for two-state solution. However, religious tensions remained unresolved, as both states held into claims over sacred sites in Jerusalem, exacerbating distrust and animosity. The Second Intifada, 2000 to 2005, was sparked by Ariel Sharon's visit to the Temple Mount, a flashpoint for religious sentiments. This period saw increased violence with significant casualties on both sides and an hardening of attitudes. The Gaza disengagement in 2005 saw Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza, leading to Hamas' rise to power in 2006. The subsequent conflicts between Israel and Hamas, including wars in 2008 to 2009, 2012 and 2014, resulted in devastating humanitarian crises, particularly in Gaza. Iran's growing influence in the region, especially through its support for Hamas and Hezbollah, introduced another layer of complexity. Iran views itself as a defender of the Palestinian cause and a counter of Israeli power, framing its involvement in both religious and political terms. The Islamic Republic's rhetoric often invokes religious themes, emphasizing solidarity with oppressed Muslims. In 2020, several Arab states normalized relations with Israel, marking a significant shift in regional dynamics. These normalization agreements, however, further isolated the Palestinian cause, leading to renewed protest and unrest among Palestinians. In May 2021, tensions in East Jerusalem erupted into violence, highlighting the fragility of the situation. Clashes at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, fueled by evictions in Sheikh Jarrah, led to an 11-day conflict between Israel and Hamas, resulting in significant casualties and further destruction in Gaza. The religious dimensions of the conflict are integral to understanding its complexities. For Jews, the land of Israel is not only a homeland but a sacred space tied to their religious identity. With sites like the West Wall symbolizing the historical and spiritual connections, the Temple Mount, where the first and second temples once stood, remains a focal point for Jewish religious aspirations. For Muslims, Jerusalem is the third holiest site in Islam, and Al-Aqsa Mosque is a site of immense religious significance. The mosque is often seen as a symbol of Palestinian identity and resistance, leading to heightened tensions when access is restricted or threatened. Religious narratives often intertwine with nationalistic sentiments, complicating peace efforts. The conflict is not merely a territorial dispute but is steeped in competing historical narratives, religious claims, and existential fears. Each side's understanding of history is often influenced by religious beliefs, leading to deep mistrust and an unwillingness to compromise. The Israel-Iran-Palestine conflict is a complex tapestry woven from historical grievances, political aspirations, and deep-rooted religious affiliations. Despite numerous efforts at negotiation and reconciliation, the intertwining of national identity and religious significance has created profound obstacles to peace. Understanding this multifaceted conflict requires not only an awareness of the historical tragedy, but also recognition of the enduring power of religious narratives and the symbols. As the conflict continues to evolve, it poses significant challenges not only for the peoples directly involved, but also for regional stability and global politics. The pathway to resolution remains fraught with difficulties, but acknowledging the religious dimensions alongside historical and political context may provide more comprehensive understanding necessary for meaningful dialogue and ultimately peace. That's all for today. Thanks for watching Foresight TV with me, Asma.